Welcome to Modern Farm Business Podcast. This podcast is designed to help the farm leader bring their business to the next level. We'll cover everything from leadership and finance to strategy and planning. I'm your host, Dean Hefta. What color is your car? Simple enough question, right? Here's what's so amazing. A question as simple as asking the color of your car has the power to take over our thinking process and even shape our future behavior. I thought it was appropriate as we move into the winter season that it'd be wise to spend some time on one of the most useful leadership tools we have: good questions. Neuroscience research has found that our brains can only focus on one idea at a time. So, when we ask other people questions, or even when we ask ourselves questions, our neurons go into overdrive about one topic. The bigger the question, the more focused we become. With that in mind, what I'm going to do today is to cover different areas of our business and engage you with questions. You won't have the answers for all these questions, but my goal is twofold. Get your mind going with some questions that may be new. And second is to give you an inventory of some questions that you can use as a reference for future thinking, whether it's for yourself or even for your team. The first area we're going to dig into is the future. Having a picture of what you're working to create helps us to have a North Star to guide decisions. When things get muddy, it helps with those tough decisions. When we feel bogged down, an inspiring dream gives us energy. And when we're not around, it gives clarity to our team for where we're going, and it helps them to stay on track. So here's a start. Who am I working to become? Who am I working to become? The reason I start with you is that an organization will always struggle to grow beyond its leader. So I need to have a picture of who I am continually working to become. This should drive reflection of how I'm doing and what I need to be working on. Here's another one. In 10 years, a reporter from a magazine does a story about your operation. What does that headline say? This will speak to what you want someone to see about your operation. It speaks to what's important about what you really want to create. Now let's shift gears over to people. Let's look at the people on your team. If you had a top-notch team, how would you know? What would those behaviors be that you would see? How would the people interact with each other? How does that compare with today? Now, what about when we have somebody on our team that's maybe giving us some headaches? Here's a question for you. Knowing what you know today about how this person behaves, would you hire them again? How would you feel if you got a call and they said they were resigning? These questions give us some insights into how we're really feeling about how that person fits into our team. If there's some things that we don't feel real good about that we didn't know when we hired them, but we've learned over the course of time, those can be a place where we explore with them, maybe talk about some of those frustrations we have. If we wouldn't feel bad about them not being on the team today, maybe we shouldn't be waiting for them to leave. Maybe we should be thinking about how we help them to find something that's a better fit for them. Now, what about our business systems? You know, how we accomplish things is really a function of the systems in our business. These might be written down. They might not be written down. A question you can ask to test for what systems should be written down could be, what won't get done if this person can't do their job for a month? Maybe only one person has access to and understands the bookkeeping in the operation. Or maybe we do snow removal in the winter and only one person knows the details of all the accounts and the contacts and the things that are going on with our contracts. By getting our critical systems documented, two things happen. First, it forces our mind to really think about how we are doing things. That process alone might get us questioning how we've been approaching things and maybe open us up to a perspective of how we can do things differently. Secondly, it gives us and others in the business peace of mind that if someone can't be reached, something bad has happened, those critical functions of the business can still occur. We can turn to those processes and still get through it. Now, how about this one? Let's look at our expertise. For us to be effective, our business needs to be good at some critical competencies. So, what's something that you are exceptional at? Say it a different way. What's something that comes easier to you than other people? We can often look at our deficiencies first, but understanding what you are good at is just as important. It's a business strength, and often that strength is in the area where we find enjoyment, and doing those things are rewarding for us. And it's important to understand who we are as individuals and the things that are important to us. That being said, we should also ask, what skills does the business need to move forward? It could be an employee getting trained on a piece of technology. Maybe you want to hone your planning skills, or maybe you need to bring in an outside person with a higher level of financial abilities. This is where we look at our competency gaps that might be holding the business back. What about our own responsibilities? What's something that only you, in your role, can do? This gets to the heart of how we add value to the business. As the operation grows, we can't keep doing everything we used to do, but we need to be clear on what only we can do. Another one, what's something you do that you can no longer afford to do? Maybe you've always mowed the lawn. Maybe you've always on the farm built your own bins. Classical economics tells us that with growth of the business comes specialization. And in order for us to specialize, we have to give up some of those things that maybe we're not as good at, or that we can find other people to do at a cheaper rate than we do it. Now let's talk about you. Maybe you're stuck and you're struggling. Question for you. If a friend were in your same position, what advice would you give them? Looking at the organization, what's one thing, if I did it well, would make everything else easier? You know, it's that getting to the root of it question. Maybe for you, building a better team will make everything else easier. And if so, you need the discipline to spend maybe 2 hours every day working on that one thing that could change everything. How about your habits? What habit, if changed, would make a difference? It could be your morning routine. And maybe that routine doesn't really set you up for success for the day. Or maybe you have a bad habit of leaving every tool wherever you stopped using it, creating chaos. These are the things that we don't think about. But if we make a small change, we and our business could be better off. Beliefs fit into this as well. They color how we interpret things and the meaning we apply to the world around us. So what are those things that you know that just ain't so? This is an almost impossible question to answer ourselves. The best way to approach it is by looking at those things in our operation that we've been doing the same way for years. They give us clues to which things that we're doing that we hold as truth without really giving much reflection to. Getting out and seeing some new approaches, or maybe going to meetings that challenge our thinking, can help inspire us to look at the world and our operations a little bit differently. As you can see, every area of our life can be brought into focus with questions. When our mind hears a question, it immediately hones in on it. Use that neurology to your advantage. When you're starting a new project, ask the team some fresh questions like, what do we really want for an outcome? Or, 3 months from now, this project is a failure. What happened? Regardless of the area, a question can help kickstart our creativity and our leadership. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope there's something that got your mind turning. Thank you to Water Street Solutions for making this program possible. My question for you is, what's an area in your operation that you could use a fresh perspective? Give Water Street Solutions a call today to talk about it at 866-249-2528. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.